Hey everyone, ready to have some fun? Today, we are diving straight into the hilarious movie Anyone But You to learn some real conversational English that you can start using right away. You know that feeling, right? You're watching a movie, the characters are talking a mile a minute, throwing out all this slang and these idioms, and you're suddenly completely lost. It's a super common frustration, and it's because movies use the English that people speak in real life, not what you get in a textbook.
But hey, don't worry, you are so not alone, and today we're going to fix that. We're going to break down 6 awesome phrases from Anyone But You that native speakers use all the time. Seriously, by the end of this, you'll be ready to use them yourself. Let's do this.
Okay, so our first 2 phrases actually pop up in the exact same chaotic scene. A character is trying to figure out if the main characters, B and Ben, have finally stopped fighting. He asks them if they've buried the hatchet and if everything is water under the bridge. So let's break down what those 2 actually mean.
So let's kick things off with bury the hatchet. Just imagine 2 old enemies literally burying their weapons, their hatchets, in the ground as a sign of peace. That's the picture. It means you've made a real decision to end a fight and make up with someone.
So how would you use this in your own life? Well, you could say something like, my sister and I decided to bury the hatchet before our family vacation. Or, in a more professional setting, the 2 companies finally buried the hatchet and agreed to a partnership. See, it's all about taking that action to end the fight. And now for the second phrase from that scene, water under the bridge. This one's a beautiful metaphor, really. Think about a river flowing under a bridge. Once that water goes past, it's gone. It's never coming back. And that's exactly what this phrase means. Past problems aren't important anymore. They're forgiven or just forgotten.
You might say to a friend, yeah, we used to argue a lot in college, but that's all water under the bridge now. Or let's say someone says they're sorry to you. A really simple, kind way to respond is just, don't worry about it. It's water under the bridge.
Now here's where it gets interesting. There's a subtle difference. Burying the hatchet is the action you take to make peace. Water under the bridge is the result that comes after. So you bury the hatchet so that the problem can become water under the bridge. It's a cool little distinction to keep in mind. All right, on to our next phrase. In the movie, one character is pushing another to have a really difficult conversation with an ex. Her advice? 100% go rip off the Band-Aid. Oh, this is such a good one, and people use it all the time. Think about taking off a real Band-Aid. You've got 2 choices, right? You can peel it off slowly, which kind of hurts the whole time, or you can just rip it off fast. It stings for a second, but then it's over. That's exactly what this phrase means. Just do the hard thing quickly and get it over with. This is so useful in everyday life. You might say, I decided to go first for my presentation and just rip off the Band-Aid. Or if you're giving a friend some tough advice, look, you need to tell him the bad news. It's best to just rip off the Band-Aid. Okay, this next one is super dramatic. A character is freaking out that Bia and Ben's constant fighting is going to ruin the whole wedding weekend. She says the situation is headed straight over a cliff. You can almost see it, can't you? A car driving right for the edge.
And that image perfectly captures the meaning. When a situation is headed straight over a cliff, it means it's on a path to total disaster. There's no turning back and a crash is coming. It's a really visual and powerful way to say something is going very, very wrong.
You'd use this for pretty serious situations. For example, if the company doesn't get more funding, it's headed straight over a cliff. Or for something more personal. After he lost his job, his whole life felt like it was headed straight over a cliff. It really drives home how serious things are. All right, let's switch gears to a phrase that's incredibly useful, especially when you're talking about what you want, like in dating or maybe even job hunting. In the movie, Ben says this to Bia about her ex-fiancé. He seems like he checks all your boxes. So the idea here is that you have this mental checklist, right? A list of little boxes with all the qualities you're looking for. If someone or something checks all your boxes, it means they have every single thing on your list. They're basically your perfect match, at least on paper. This phrase is so incredibly versatile. You can use it for anything. Looking at a new apartment? This place is perfect. It checks all my boxes. Talking about a potential partner? He's kind, he's funny, he loves dogs. He really checks all the boxes. It's all about meeting those specific requirements you have. And for our last phrase, let's end with a really sweet and affectionate one. A character says this to her fiancé to show her love before she gets back to complaining about B and Ben. She says, "Look, baby, I love you to the moon and back." This is such a common and almost poetic way to tell someone you love them a huge, huge amount. I mean, the distance to the moon and back is gigantic, right? So you're saying your love is just that big. It's something you often hear between parents and kids or partners or really close family. It's just a wonderful phrase to use for the people you really care about. You might see it written in a birthday card. My daughter wrote, "I love you to the moon and back." Or you could say it about a best friend. "He's my best friend in the world. I love him to the moon and back." Okay, so we've learned 6 amazing phrases. But just watching me talk about them isn't enough. You've got to actually use them. So I have a quick little mission for you to help make these phrases a real part of your English. Here's your simple 3-step plan. First, watch any English movie you want with the English subtitles on. Second, listen for just one new phrase that catches your ear. And finally, this is the most important step, try to use that phrase in a real sentence sometime this week. You can totally do this. And that's a wrap. You've learned 6 brand new, authentic English phrases that will make you sound so much more natural. Every little step like this gets you closer and closer to fluency. You are doing an amazing job. But before you go, I've got a question for you. What movie or TV show should we break down next? Tell me in the comments below. I seriously love getting your suggestions, and it helps me make more explainers that you actually want to see. Thanks so much for watching.